Hey, 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 everybody. Michelle is here. Michelle is here on this October 28th, 2023. On a what? On a Saturday. My God. On a Saturday. What you say? You know, I told you I pay attention to a lot of things going on the social media universe, throughout various things going on on the internet. I also pay attention to my environment. I look at the people around me in my environment, and that spurs a lot of thought for me. It doesn't spur rumination. No, no, no. It spurs a series of thoughts for me. It's like a flowing of thoughts that go through me, and I attempt to cultivate it and contemplate on it and find meaning into it that I understand and that can be understood by most people, right, that choose to understand it. Everything is a choice, right? Everything is free will, right? And I say that because you'll find blowback from that. You'll find pushback, blowback, some kind of resistance to that, to say, you know what, to know the power and the might you have of free will, okay, and how numerous amount of people have throughout time want to control how you perceive that. And so, in other words, preconceived notions popped into my mind yesterday because I mentioned it, or at least I was looking it up, and I'm not sure why I said something about preconceived notions, but it brought something to my thoughts to kind of contemplate and kind of figure out, okay, what is really going on? Because that is what it is. That's what it is. It's like, determining, okay, what are we being told versus what's really happening? Okay, and I told you, be careful about, don't be be focused on what someone's saying, but learn to figure out, and that's a process, that's a development. Listen to what people are saying, but listen to what they're not saying. You see these lines on my face? That comes from my pillowcase. So I'm sure it's going to be diagnosed. Okay, let me tell you how to get rid of those lines in your face once you get up in the morning after a good night's sleep or rest. That's coming. But anyway, that's what that is on my face. You know what I'm saying? You got me? So I was talking about, preconceived notions came into my mind for a reason. And so like I said, as I was contemplating and cultivating in my thoughts, allowing my thoughts to be free flowing, that came to my mind. Okay, and it's it's in relationship to what was talked about a while ago by okay, let's start over. These preconceived notions, in my opinion, preconceived notions. Let me just give you what a definition of it is. Let's go back. Let me see if I can get a definition that seems to make sense to me. How about that? And that's what I look for. I look for things that, okay, does this make sense to me? Let me look here. Oh boy, yeah. All right, let's see if something comes up here. Okay, that's fine. So what I'm attempting to contemplate in my mind is about these preconceived notions about people, right? These preconceived notions about people, and the thing is how we use it to highlight certain people over another. Okay, so what brought this to my attention is someone was talking about the notion, because that's what it is to me, a preconceived notion about happiness. Okay, there's a preconceived notion about happiness. Okay, I didn't listen to the program. See, I know a lot about this particular person because I not follow them, but I kind of listened to them for decades. We all have. Okay, and as soon as something goes on in a particular culture or a particular community, this person is supposed to be the representative of all of that. Okay, she's supposed to be the one that everyone goes to because she's the one that is supposedly handpicked, because she is handpicked. She's the chosen one, okay, to be the one to come up and represent certain things, whether it's about women, whether it's about black women, whether it's about black culture, whether it's about this or that and the other. They always call this person, and I've mentioned their name several times. Well, not several times. I have to be real careful because a lot of people get worked up when you start mentioning their names. But, do the research and you consider what I'm talking about. It's irrelevant that I bring this person up because it's not so much as to who she is. There's no denying who she is and what she's done. The question is, what is she doing? And why is she doing these kind of things? That's the question. Okay. In other words, is she, I know she's a chosen one because, like I said, she's always the one that's called, and she'll appear on certain news programs, and then she's going on and on and on and on and on. Okay. And that's fine. Okay. But there's a preconceived notion, about her, and the fact that she's talking about happiness. That's that, and this is going to make sense in a minute. So I'm looking up happiness. Happiness is a positive and pleasant emotion, ranging from contentment to intense joy. It says moments of happiness may be triggered by positive life experiences or thoughts, but sometimes it may arise from no obvious cause. The level of happiness for long periods of time is more strongly correlated with levels of life satisfaction, subjective well-being, flourishing. Okay, all right, that sounds fine. But I want you to consider something. What I just read here, it says it's a positive and pleasant emotion, ranging from contentment to intense joy. Emotion is what I want you to pay attention to. Emotion. Okay, emotions are I'm just reading what it says here. Emotions are mental states brought on by neural physiological changes variously associated with thoughts, feelings, behavioral response, and a degree of pleasant or displeasure. Okay, degrees of pleasure versus or displeasure. And they're saying there's no scientific consensus on the definition. Okay, and that's true. There's not really any science. I haven't found any. There's a lot of preconceived notions about it, however. Right? Let's go to that again. Let's go to preconceived notion and see what's happening in some of these dictionaries or whatever. Just to get an idea. Let's see which one I want to use. See what they have, what meaning they have to it. Okay, preconceived. It says of an idea or an opinion formed too early, especially without enough thought or knowledge. Okay, that exactly is that kind of fits where I am about certain things, about preconceived notions and all this carrying on and I told you that I do what I do first of all out of love. I do it out of love. Okay, meaning uh, once you know uh, what the act of love is, the power of it, the might of it, yes, you know it. And sometimes the words cannot explain it. And I made a reference to my nieces and nephews, in that kind of parent love, or family love, or this or that and the other. And I said my parents modeled it for me in their marriage, that bonding and that partnership of marriage. And then I also said that we were created out of love, and which can be considered universal love. We were created we were created out of love via a thought, right? There was a thought. It was love, a thought about it, how to, and then boom, the big bang, here we are, right? That's literally, figuratively, metaphorically. So my behavior is a voluntary action intended to help others, okay? Um, such as sharing, comforting, rescuing, helping people, okay? And there's always there's always an hidden agenda too. Sometimes when people are helping people, and I'm just telling you, I've said it from the beginning why I do it. Okay, so I have my videos to say that what my intentions were, because you need to know what is someone's intention. Why are people doing this, or why is she doing this, or who is she, and why does she think all this and that and the other. You're gonna get that in the beginning when people want to know what is your intentions. Okay, why are you coming in this group, stirring up stuff? Oh God. Ooh, why are you coming in? Why you don't go on your own page and da 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 da? Don't come in this group creating all this negativity, Oh God, has that happened to anybody? Go post that shit on your own page and this, and I got all of it. Okay, in the beginning, because no one knew my intentions, even though I expressed them. But there has to be an act of it. Intentions, there's an act involved. There's movement involved, right? So that's what I said. I'm helping, and I do it out of love. And I definitely do out of love. Love is mainly why I do it. Love of, like I said, my family. Love of my muse. Love of my inspiration. Yeah, I don't know why that came up. But I was looking up intentions and see what they say about intentions. Yeah. It just goes, everybody has their preconceived notions though, right? Isn't that true? When we are defining it and attempting to, quote unquote, help people. Okay, it's like a purpose basically, and that makes sense to me. Okay, that makes sense to what I'm doing, because only I know what I'm doing and know what my intentions are. Okay, and a lot of people can follow along with that and realize that's what it does. Okay, so and then there's other things that goes on and on and on, and kind of take things way too far, and that's fine. But helping people is a helping behavior that I have, such as sharing, comforting, rescuing, and helping. Okay, I just want to make that clear and effective. That's what I'm doing. Okay, so, and again, with happiness, I told you it's a positive and pleasant emotion. Okay, it's an emotion. Okay, now emotions. We have been we have been taught what it means to have feelings and emotions. And everything that I'm learning, everything that I'm learning has a common denominator of it involves your thoughts. What are you thinking about? That's where it starts. Okay? So, so that's why I said I haven't listened to what a video about it yet. I don't, like I said, I sense that I already know what's going on about that and why this particular person felt compelled or felt that it was necessary that she would present her theories on happiness along with others, because that's what people do. And I mean, it makes sense, I guess. I don't know that when someone is attempting to project, and do such a, they love to have their supporters. Okay, that's fine. Cult leaders like to do that too, by the way. So, yes, happiness and emotions. Happiness, and when you're talking about emotions and feelings, that's via the thoughts. So whatever you're thinking, that's what's usually going on. Your thinking starts the motion. Okay, the thinking does, not anything else. Okay, you can be sitting in the midst of the desert all by yourself, and if you are cultivating your thoughts about happiness, guess what? You'll be happy sitting there in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the desert. You'll be happy there and content, because it starts with the thoughts. The thoughts started, and it starts it so quickly so a lot of people are so unconscious, they don't realize they are thinking about what they're thinking about. They just figure if it's coming out of their mouth or coming out of their emotions, that means that, or feelings and emotions, that means that, okay, that's where it is. No, it's here in your thoughts. Okay, so, and what necessarily concerns me is these preconceived notions of who is the representative to tell someone that they're happy. That's the part that I'm concerned about. And why? Because I can guarantee, I'm going to say, based on my sensing and receiving, all of those people that were talking about happiness recently are not happy at all. Okay, they're just going through the motion. Okay, they were like this one particular person who is supposed to be an expert in happiness. I clearly heard that this person said he'll look to someone and know that that person is happy. That's a preconceived notion, actually. Because how is that possible? Okay, how is that possible for you to look to someone and know that they're happy? Because especially if it starts here in their thoughts. Are you a mind reader? If you're a mind reader, okay, that's different. Okay, let me see if I can find it. Like I said, I just know so much about a person sometimes in their words and their actions. And this particular person is female. I mean, she's been in our lives for decades. And, in the beginning, I thought, just like everybody else, we have to find our place somewhere. Okay, we have to find our place somewhere. And so I'm going to listen to their conversation after I finish my conversation, so that they don't think that I'm picking up something that they've said, because that's what a lot of people do look for as well. Okay, these are my thoughts and opinions. Okay, these are coming from my mouth. Okay, cultivated in my thoughts. Okay, and that's why I tell people it's so important to control your narrative. Get out and get it out of your mouth, because if it's coming out of your mouth, it generated in your thoughts, not anybody that's outside of you always projecting how you're supposed to be acting and behaving, and what their preconceived notions of how you're supposed to behave and act, and what you're supposed to say and how you're supposed to talk. Okay, who you're supposed to go out with. Okay, that kind of stuff. Who you're supposed to hang around with. All of this crap. To me, it's a bunch of bullshit. Really, it's just a bunch of projection, and you're not considering that. Okay, if somebody's not happy, all right, ask them, what are they thinking about? Okay, all right. And this particular person, what bothers me so much is this particular person always runs to these so-called experts at Harvard and Princeton, and those are the most miserable people in my life from what I pick up on. Okay. I don't pick up, listening to some of them rambling. I say, go to Howard University, go to Spelman, talk to those people, talk to those students, talk to the administrators there, and ask them about happiness. Okay, instead of having people that are so-called experts on it, because like I said, if you have to ask someone, okay, look, let me stop. If you say, okay, looking at this person, I know they're happy. That's a bunch of bullshit, and that's a projection. That's not true at all. Okay, all because somebody's sitting in a mansion, 10 bedrooms, 10 baths, does not mean they're happy with their materialness. And it's true that we do have, I said this as well, before I heard this person say it. Yes, we get snapshots of things and we start projecting. Okay, we do that all the time, especially on the social media platform. But at the same time, that's why I say it's so important to get off of social media and to have human connection again. I mean, you can stay on the social media platform sometimes. I'm on there for a reason. I told you, but at some point, I'm going to be done with it. But I'm doing it out of love because I have a lot of young people out there that I'm looking out for. Sharing with them my experiences and hope that they share their experiences and allow it to come from their thoughts, which in turn comes out of their mouth. In other words, so that they can control it and make it theirs. That's my story. All right, I put a post out there like the same thing like that. You have to put your information out there before it's stolen. How did I title that video? So as I said, a lot of people are rushing to put information out because they want to be the experts on it, and they're not thinking it over. They're not thinking it over at all. And they think that they are supposed to be the representatives of certain things about a person's happiness. What did I say? I think I put it on my post. I'll look it up later. So my point is this. We need to really, really get a hold of our stories, our personal experiences and stories. Yes. And put it in either you can write it out, do a video on it, whatever you need to do. Just put a video on your phone. You don't have to upload it. Save it somehow on an external, save it on something like external, not in the cloud. You can put some things in the cloud, which, sometimes it's hard to avoid, which I learned and made a mistake for. But I would not store it in the cloud, honestly. Because all of that can disappear is my point. Just like they're attempting to erase and disappear, which they are, cause things to disappear like books, like women in certain parts of history, as if women didn't exist. And I told you, no woman, no cry. In other words, without women, there is no culture. There's nothing without women. There's no developing without women. Okay? But yet we always go to these, and let's be clear, this is not to say anything other than we need to control our narratives. Not everything comes from the mouth of a white man. And in most cases, the truth does not come from the mouth of white men. Okay, there's other perspectives on things. But to come out and be generalizing that, okay, that person looks happy to me versus that person doesn't, that's crazy. Okay, because let me tell you what some of these preconceived notions are, or usually are. Okay, there's preconceived notions, and in other words, it's an opinion formed beforehand without adequate evidence. Okay, someone put that in there. You know, these numerous dictionary. Okay, there's a preconceived notions when it comes to women, when it comes to cultures, when it comes to black people, when it comes to someone that speaks different languages, the way someone dresses and walks and talk, all of those kind of things are preconceived. It's an opinion. And I told you what opinions are. What opinions mean, not a goddamn thing. And so we like to wrap people up in these preconceived notions about them. And we have no idea about these, whether they are happy or not. All because someone lives in black culture doesn't mean they're not happy. Any more than anyone living in Beverly Hills or Hollywood. Those that were just usually filled with people in delusion and fantasy. And they think they are the standards that people want to live up to. That's a possibility because we were all indoctrinated, of course, to believe that. Walt Disney World was an indoctrination. Disney World, indoctrination. That's why people go back year after year after year after year. We were indoctrinated to believe that's happiness. Doing that, spending all our money that we don't have, can't pay a rent or car payment. Yeah, it's okay to stay in a fantasy, but you have to be grounded in reality. And the reality is that we're losing parts of this planet on a daily basis due to the erosion of this planet. Is that a preconceived notion? You decide. Okay? So, again, happiness starts in your thoughts. And sometimes and that's why you have no idea where it came from. And all of a sudden you're just happy. And I said you can be in the middle of the desert. And all of a sudden, because it's your thoughts doing that for you. Okay, it's not so much about anything else other than that. So that's why I want to put my opinions and theories on it before I'm not going to even listen to that video. I'm not. I don't need to. I kind of have sensed and received and pick up some type of contradictions with this person for a while. For years. Things started out, just like everything else. It starts out being exciting. We have a particular type of image on television that everybody can watch, and I think at one point this person was going in the right direction as far as making it about a spiritual thing. It's a spiritual thing, you know what I mean? But then I think the advertisers came in and said, oh no, and then this particular person started getting a lot of backlash. Okay, and they kind of do what they do. They you want, and see, a lot of these people that are talking at these universities, more so Harvard and Princeton, is because they want to keep a job. They can care less they can care less whether it's effective or not. I'm just going to make this very clear. And these are my opinions and theories. Prove otherwise, and now I'm happy. I know there's fantastic people that come out of all of these colleges and universities all over the world. Okay, magnificent, fantastic people. But for the most part, a lot of them are just attempting to keep a job. They know that they have not had proper discussion and conversations about certain topics of happiness, or how to be rich, or how to do this or that or the other. Okay, because it's not about whether you're rich or poor anyway. Happiness has nothing to do with any of that, or whether you are successful or not. Okay, so that's why you have to, if you choose to, it's free will, self-educate yourself and come to your conclusions based on your experiences and based on how you understand things. And stop looking to these people in these pyramids who want to be your representative. All they want you to do is buy their books, usually. Follow them. Follow me. This is where you get the truth and nothing but the truth. You don't need to listen to nobody else, though. They made that very clear. They don't want you listening to anyone else. That's why they get all worked up about it. Now, no one's saying that this particular person is not happy, but I question it, to be honest with you, because I keep picking up contradictions to illustrate otherwise. Okay, this person has everything, land, property, they have everything, but yet they still have something that's troubling them. From what I pick up, there's always something troubling them in their innermost being. Right? Anyone can come out here and say they're happy. Okay, but what's going on in their innermost being? What are they saying to themselves at night when they're alone? Because some of these, and whether you have a partner or not, I've said this, whether you have children or not, whether you live alone or not, lonely is an internal, innermost situation. Okay, that most of us cannot see because it's hidden quite deep into a lot of people, and that's how it is about people with rage. That when they have this hidden rage, they can present themselves to the world as if everything's fantastic, magnificent, and marvelous, but piss them off. Go against them and watch what happens. Choleric. I introduced that term. Someone else may have, but I didn't notice it when I looked. But you know how that is. Stuff just certainly, all of a sudden things will pop up. I told you it was like a temperament. They show it as a temperament. And I told you melancholy is part of it. Melancholy. It's like, sometimes they're, those that are experiencing that, they call it black bile. Look it up. They're markedly depressed mood. They have a depressed mood and they suck energy out of the room. Just even if they're coming in the room with a smile on their face, a lot of people are getting turned off to this particular person. They're getting turned off because why? Because they're picking up contradictions. And I told you, clear up your contradictions. All of us need to do that. Okay? Like I said, this person can walk in the room and people are immediately turned off, or come on television and start talking, people are turned off. I pick it up. I've been picking it up for a couple of decades, actually. Okay? But yes, cholerics, as I said, let me make sure I'm pronouncing that correctly. Let's see. Choleric. They're easily angered and bad-tempered, even though you may not know that right away. As long as you are agreeing with them, yes, ma'am, yes, sir. You're being subjugated in a metaphorically figurative way. Maybe not literally. You may not think you're being subjugated, being submissive and subservient to these people, which I told you they're nothing more, nothing less than modern day cult leaders. Okay? So, in other words, in person, they're saying something. In public, they're saying something else. But talk to their partners, which no one would dare do because their partners are probably sworn to secrecy, and that's fine. That's fine. I have no issues with that. But at the same time, I hope you are, when you're concealing secrets like that, because sometimes, hey, when it's what happens between partners stays between partners, as long as no one's in a life-threatening situation. Okay, it's about self-preservation. Okay, it's not about self-sacrifice. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop there because I'm getting hungry. I'm ready to eat. You know what I mean? But I want to introduce this. These preconceived notions out there that only a certain characteristic of people know what it means to be happy, and it's based on what? Okay, usually it's it is an opinion formed beforehand without adequate evidence. That's what it is. That I will accept and agree. Okay, and for someone to, and the people that they're talking to about it and all this and that and the other, saying, okay, like I said, even if someone's homeless, they can still be happy, any more than someone that's not. Even someone that doesn't have a job can still be happy. Not much food on the table, but they're still happy. Okay, so when people say I just want to be happy. Okay, that starts in your thoughts. Okay, start there and ask yourself, okay, so if all I really want is to be happy, okay, what are my thoughts saying otherwise? Some of these, like I said, some of these lyrics are beautiful. And some of these lyrics have the right sounds and tones that's going to lead you to the evolution of your consciousness. It's about sounds and tones anyway, which starts in the thoughts. Thoughts are sounds and tones. Your thoughts have a sound and tone. Okay? So it starts in your thoughts. And what does that mean to you? Okay, like I said, I was so happy the other day just having a bowl of ice cream. Okay, so so I think if you just allow yourself to indulge and kind of clear your brain out of all of these other irrelevancies that are holding up in your brain, and the ego does that. The ego does everything it can to protect you. So that's why you need to be very careful when you say you need to kill the ego. No, you don't need to kill your ego. Killing your ego is killing yourself, actually. Your ego is part of you. But you can suspend your ego. In other words, have your ego sit on the side of you, literally, figuratively, metaphorically, and allow you to speak from your being. Speak from you. It's coming out of you. What's going on in your innermost being? What's going on there? Okay? Start there. I'll help because I'm doing it voluntarily because I know what, like I said, I know what love is. And love has happiness in it. Love and happiness, I mean, that goes together, right? Love and happiness, right? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stop it right now. I'm going to go ahead and send peace and love to everyone all over the stars and moon and mountains. And trust me, I will be back.